Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 5th, 2026. But no matter when you click into this reading, if it felt like it was pulling you, there's something that is trying to come through from your guides, and I'm excited to unveil it. Now, you are more than welcome to jump into the timestamp in the description box below to go ahead and get started into the reading while I get the rest of the intro out of the way. So, if today's your birthday, happy birthday. Thank you for making it another trip around the world with us today. Always here on this channel, I want everyone to know that they deserve to be celebrated and find something to celebrate each day. And leading into my disclaimers, remember that this is a reading and it does not mean that this is the only piece of information you should be taking in. And it is not the only option you have to do or drive your wheel with, if that makes sense. So you have a vehicle and you have a map that is being shown to you with all of these destinations that you can possibly take. And it is ultimately up to you to decide which course you actually want to take. Do you want to take the scenic route? Do you want to go through the route that gives you the most growth and expansion? Or do you want to take the time to kind of pause and really think about what it is you need to be doing in this moment? But the choice is always yours. And at the end of the day, I know I cannot give professional advice, but I can share personal experiences if I feel like I've been a part of it, and or the whatever the guides are revealing for you today. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this reading since we've got some Cancer energy coming through. And so a lot of y'all are going through a process, especially with the collective coming in, where you are trying to nurture something. These could be your ideas. This could be a position that you have at work, or even a relationship that you have, whether this be with your friends, your family members, an actual relationship that ties your heart, and wanting to see it grow and trying to stay within a comforting or comfortable state of mind where you are not being triggered as much. So you're looking for like comfort foods, comfort relaxation methods, finding ways to just wind down and feel safe and protected in this moment. And you're being called to rise to the things that you actually do want to protect. Protecting your emotions, protecting your beliefs, protecting your ideas. And if someone were to come in and try to, sabotage everything that you've been working on, then you know that it's worth protecting for, because you don't need to have anybody come in and try to knock your boundaries down or take advantage of you. Now, Cancer is this is emotional energy that is coming in. So you are very receptive, much more receptive to your external influences that are around you. And they are, they have a connection, a direct line between your internal world. So whatever you are picking up when you are on your journey, going wherever you are going today, think about how you may be a magnet for something, or if something is pecking at you whenever it notices you. And I don't know why I feel like talking about crows and ravens. Okay, so crows and ravens, I don't know which one it is specifically, but they have a way of remembering things. So think about all the good karma you are putting out there. Like if you are, imagine you're feeding a raven and you give it a very good experience. It's going to keep coming back to you because it wants to relive that experience, because that's the only experience it's known since it's got to know you. Now, if you do something really terrible to one of these birds, they will let their flock know. They will let their children know. They will let their grandchildren know, and they will pass down this. It's almost like a bird curse, if you would. So protect your energy and feed the right experiences that you want to see to be returned in your life. So that way you can continue to nurture and feel comforted in this moment. And I know you may hear sirens going off in the background, so pay attention to the sirens that may be going on in your life, that and sirens, so thinking of anything that is trying to lead you to waters, lead you away from your course or away from your goal. And so these could be past memories that have a way of singing a specific tune when you find that you're in an emotional state and you find that you're living in this past version of you, or this, you find that you're going back to these outdated models that no longer serve you, but at one point they did provide comfort, but it is no longer helping you grow. And these cancer oriented energies, now you don't have to have cancer in, you don't have to have cancer. You may have cancer placements in your chart, but this is the collective feeling for today. And so paying attention to your family and the relationships that are around you, because this is an energy that is very warm, they're very caring, very tender-hearted and protective over their loved ones. And so whatever you are very protective over, really think about, is my family doing okay? Is there something I could do to really help nurture my family, my friends, my work relationships? Or is there something that's that has like a vendetta, if you will? And this energy is moon ruled. So pay attention to any fears that you may have that create these illusions, or if you are picking up other people's feelings that question your own, something that may be triggering you, especially if you got a memory that just comes through, or someone reminds you of something, or you have a smell that enters into the air and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this. It's that kind of energy. And look at the shell that you may have around you, if it's tough, or if it is brittle, or if it is, no one can actually come to you. You're hiding within it. So think about the 3 different ways that your shell can either help you, hurt you, or limit you from growth and potential. Today is a great day to be very direct with what you need to communicate today, especially if you have not been meeting or getting the validation that you need, the support that you need. You're doing really good. I'm very proud of you. And also, I do want to say I'm very proud of my collective listeners. I have got to experience some of the people on their journeys, and they are growing, and I love that I am seeing that. That is one of the main reasons for this channel, is to see people grow and challenge and just see that they can break past any kind of barrier if they put their mind to it. So find ways that you feel validated and worthy. And if the people you're around they're not people who use their words or know how to show it through their actions, provide that for yourself in this moment. And the other thing this card is going to ask is to really look and see if there's anything that is clinging to you for support, or if you are clinging to something that doesn't bring warmth or comfort any longer, kind of like what I was saying earlier about an outdated model. But also, what are you trying to keep together? Because Cancers, they want to make sure that their tribe is well, they are fed, they are rested, they have all their needs met, and they'll do it at the expense that sometimes when you find you are in a sort of like a relationship dynamic where this person may have one foot in the door and then another person has their foot outside the door, and it's like trying to bring them in to prevent them from leaving. So think about any kind of healing that may be beneficial to you, so that way you can if someone is trying to leave your life, let them leave, unless it is something that would, like, there's a difference between leaving for the right reasons and leaving for the wrong reasons, such as if you are not opening up to yourself and they cannot communicate because you're not telling them what it is that you need. This is a great time to say, okay, actually, yeah, let's sit down because I do need to talk about this, because I feel there's something is separating here. So be very open to your emotions. And if there is a need to focus on, other people's needs, if you've been very focused on your own needs and certain things have been neglected around you, think about what that might be. You can do this if you are someone that kind of like really needs to write this out. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, free writing would be a great way to give yourself a voice and really tap into your inner child here, or your subconscious mind, where you are either are you the child and saying, okay, mother energy is coming through here, where you are your own mother and you are your own healer. So what does your inner child need? What are the things that it's trying to address to you? And then as the mother role, how will you fulfill it? Or if you are the mother and you are needing to ground yourself and become stable, more mature, and less clingy on certain outcomes that you may have, then sitting down with your inner child and saying, we're going to grow from this, so that way we can persevere and have resilience and make healthy choices for ourselves. Because it's, at the end of the day, yes, it's okay to indulge in certain things, especially when you're like, okay, my inner child is wanting this. So, but if you spend too much time with the eyes of a child, then you will prevent yourself from being able to take care of your adult responsibilities that are coming into your life. You'll start to see those imbalances come through. But focus on the root. What do you need to water? What needs some sunlight? What has too much sunlight? Is the soil dry, or is the soil need to be replaced? And do you need to talk to this root or this plant that you're trying to grow? And where do you feel the most powerless? Do you feel powerless at work? Do you feel powerless in your own body? And look at the things that may be deprived here. But so your inner child, anytime I see a card that talks about the inner child, or if there's a tarot card that comes through and says something about the child, I will always pull an inner child oracle from my collective. And today, do what you need to do. What is it that we want, and what is it that we need can be two separate things. And when it is so, it is often the difference between self-indulgence and self-care. Reflect upon the difference between these two in your life. Ask yourself if they have meant the same thing to you, and how this might have impacted your journey. So think about how things may have impacted your journey. But ultimately, Cancer's wanting you to come in and nurture and provide comfort to something here that you want to protect. And your tarot card for today, the main focus here is we have the Hierophant. So this is a major arcana card coming through. There's a lot of things that are being taught right now that you're trying to learn from. And you're being asked to, if you're trying to gain information, make sure you are gaining it from the right, reliable source. And I do have an example that I would like to share with this, and it actually came through yesterday. My sister just started a new career just recently, and this warehouse that she is working at has been known to have a high turnover rate. And I was always curious about why, because all of my brothers have worked at this warehouse before and it never lasted for them. But my sister, she's, the one thing about my sisters and I is we ask questions, we want to find solutions, and we don't want to be a part of the problem. We want to fix the problem. And so she was put on a different task without any kind of training whatsoever. And she had a bit of knowledge from her retail experience that she had previously. And So that kind of helped her, be able to pick up on some things. But she was placed in a situation where other people around her gave different answers for the same process that needed to be done. And so she didn't know what the right answer was, and it frustrated the main lead or the manager that was there, and they removed her from the thing that she was supposed to be doing, because originally she thought she was going to be doing the exact same thing that she was already doing, and they put her in an area that required training for it. And so they removed her and put her and they said, you need more training. We need you to have more training before you do this again, because the thing she was doing can cause a lot of mistakes and setbacks for the warehouse if you do it wrong. And so they put her, they said she needed more training, and they put her in a role that she already knew how to do. And so there was no learning that was going on. So think about what that may be for you, where are you already learning something that you already know a lot of information about, or do you need to seek and find information for something you don't know about? So the Hierophant is going to really want you to look and, when you have a piece of evidence or information in front of you, fact check it. Fact check it and know that all the answers are right in front of you. And it's not so much that you really need to tap into your intuition for this, because it's displayed for everybody and the information should be the same for everyone. But learning fundamental processes from a trusted source. That's key here. And you may even want to pick up on some formal studies, whether that be through your spiritual practices or any beliefs that you have that you're wanting to explore. And you may even feel called to share the knowledge that you have, especially if you know how to share it in a very structured way where it is streamlined, everyone can pick it up. And I'm sorry, I have to rant about this. So when you are sharing knowledge, and this is a teacher model, this is a manager model that was given to me that I have experienced and know that this does work from personal experience. When you're trying to share something and you want someone to pick up a new hobby, a new belief system, whatever the case may be, if you're sharing something, tell, show, do, review. Those 4 things right there are going to be successful. But you have to do the first 3. So you're going to explain what it is that is going on, why it's important. So tell them what the job is. Tell them what your main focus is. So when you're trying to talk to others, tell them about it. And then you're going to show them with your own hands what you need to do step by step. So we got mechanical thinking coming in here, or my mechanical learners. I value all learning styles because they can really put emphasis on here, and even tap into develop an emotion that can tie in with that, and that will help with the learning process. But tell them about it, show them how to do it. Do not walk away from them. Review the work in front of them. Even if they say they know how to do it, review the work. And then lastly, or not review, tell, show, do. Okay, watch them do the work and then review their work and fill in the gaps where there may be some missing pieces of knowledge here. But the Hierophant is asking you to, share your knowledge in a structured way. And it wants you to kind of look at what are some age-old traditions that have been tried and tested. So they're good models to go back to. That was one model I kind of explained. Or even like if you notice that the old model that you have is no longer working, we now need a different process. We may have had a lot of change come in because the Hierophant has the number 5. Maybe there's something that is now unstable and is causing a lot of conflict around us. So how can we go within and look to see, is there something we need to challenge here? And this can even talk about sacred rituals that you may have been neglecting. Sacred rituals like to your own spirituality, or even your self-care routines coming in that need to be honored. and look to see how you are identifying with others, or if you are kind of like keeping yourself, keeping like your beliefs to yourself, keeping, things that you believe in, and or things that you were bound to, such as like your family, work, your social life, society, etc. And you may be in a process where you have a lot of people questioning you, or you have a lot of questions that you want answers for. And when you were under the spotlight and you were being questioned for everything you were doing, it can feel very negative. And if someone is trying to explore something with you, or explore why you think the way you are thinking, sit down and find a way, so that way you can explain, well, this is why I think the way I do. This is coming from, an old model. And if you are developing a new model of thinking, because this is the focus here, then people who get upset with you because you no longer think or act the same way that you used to, stand your ground, protect your new beliefs that you have, especially if they have weight, if they have validation, and don't be afraid to, you know, uh, rebel if you need to. So the Hierophant is all about learning. Is it something you want to keep? Did you learn new information? Is this something that now requires you to rebel against this and then require that change? So boundaries, processes, structure, those are key here. And the Hierophant wants you to experience as much of life as possible. All of it, all of the avenues, the streets, the roads that you can possibly take. Actually explore them until you find something that makes you feel as if you are a part of it. But so, oh, and think about the involvement that you may have as well. What are you involved in currently? Or if you are not involved in anything, like you're just kind of like within Cancer's realm, within your shell. Maybe being a part of a group effort would be really good right now. But pressure, you may feel as if there's a pressure test. But pressure tests are really good for you because they help you reconfirm your commitments that you have to others. And the two animal spirits that are helping with this energy is Wolf, the Pathfinder, and Dog, Friend. So release your past and start a new journey. You are a teacher and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. And then with Dog, we have, today I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and a friend. And I know this reading will probably be really lengthy, but Spirit felt like it had a lot to talk about today. Meditate and contemplate on the things that you are identifying with, and allow this time to work through your fears. Work through your fears in this moment, and you will be able to be of more assistance to those that are around you. Now, at the heart of the matter, we have the Page of Wands. And the quote that I have with the Page of Wands, because this is your heart center right now. This is your heart. And this is by Sir Cecil Beaton, who is a photographer. Be daring. Be different. Be impractical. Be anything that will assert integrity of purpose and imaginative vision against the play it safers, the creatures of the commonplace, the slaves of the ordinary. You are questioning a lot of things, a lot of your beliefs, old things that have been occurring, and your heart is now wanting you to do something different. Be something different. Be bold with it. And you may have felt that something new is emerging within you, and you're unsure of how to put it into action. Go ahead and play with this idea and let it grow. Especially allowing it to like be a part of this creative void where you're just watching it kind of like turn and mold into something. And look at different approaches that you can do to put this idea, because this, just like the Ace of Wands talks about a seed that is being planted. Now you're trying to think about how to, okay, I have the seed now. How can I actually actualize it in this moment where I can experiment more with my life and find where the greatest rewards and growth are for me, that will keep me feeling rewarded. But looking at the original vision will help you here, or finding alternative ways to express it. So finding different ways to express yourself. If you've had difficulty expressing yourself in the past, it's like when you try to tell someone something and they didn't understand it, so you repeat the exact same thing and they still don't get it. Find ways to either, I'm hearing less is more, or find the structure, find the dots that will help connect it, so that way they're not lost from here and then here, and they're like, well, what's going on in between this? And this is asking you to redefine your path to stay in alignment with your own personal growth and goals. And so think about things that are very complex for you currently, things that you may need to break down into smaller steps. What are the obstacles? Are there any oppositions to what it is that you are trying to create? Maybe you're worried about more responsibilities and troubles added onto your plate. But review these limiting beliefs, these interferes, these anxieties that are coming through, and try to find answers from within why they are even there. Now, when you are in a relationship, because this is making me think of someone they're playing with the idea of, if you are a single person, you're finding ways to approach somebody. You're trying to think of, okay, well, it's like you want to tell them, but you don't know how to tell them. And you're trying to, it's like you're beating around the bush here rather than, actually giving them an offer. So you're trying to be very creative with it. Now, if you are in an established relationship, with this being in reverse, you may have, your relationship is at a point now where you're like, oh gosh, we need to really think about how we can really take this relationship and grow where we want it to grow, and be able to experiment with it, so that way you're not overpouring things. Or if you find that you're being more of a mother role, and not of really a partner, if that makes sense, there's a need for balance here. But look for those answers and be willing to communicate and share the burden, share the troubles, talk about them. What is very complex, sometimes what we think is complex is not actually complex after all. The animal guide that is coming through here is Unicorn, Infinite Possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. Your heart is wanting to be something far. It wants to be something more different than what has been expected of it in the past. And then confidence is your key to success here. Your heart, if it feels confident, then it will know that this is what's going to give you the action, the inspiration in order to move forward here. And you'll actually feel as if this is something you do want to protect, this idea, this belief you have. And then for your subconscious, we have the Empress coming through. So more talking about finding a way to express yourself creatively, connecting through your senses, like your touch, taste, the way you listen to others, it's all of them, all five senses. I'm struggling here. Sight, taste, smell, touch, and yeah, I'm lost again. if you have difficulty like I am, especially after you've had your coffee, like find a couple of things to help ground you down here. But find things that really bring you pleasure and deep fulfillment, because you've had a lot of all of these cards today talk about growth. Your guides are recognizing you for the growth you are putting in today, and they want you to go ahead and reflect on the abundance that you already have, that you are thankful for, that you're grateful for, because that's going to make you want to keep finding ways to provide that energy. And Page of Wands with the Empress here, and we have Cancer here. Think about what you are investing your time and energy in, or if there is something that is no longer bringing those rewarding results. And this is a time and space to enter a different frame of mind here. A frame where if you've been taking care of others' needs, now is the time to take care of your own. Nurture, care, mother energy. Focus on what you want to grow here. And find ways to access a part of yourself by finding a different way to create. This could be through art, music. This could be just hobbies and passions that you may have, or if you're wanting to go down a spiritual journey, especially if it's something very personal for you, find ways to express your spirit in a way where you find that you can connect with the divine. But I love that you have the Empress coming through here. And I will say, since we do have the Empress here, think about if you are in a place where you are fertile, if you might be pregnant, if you might be giving birth to something. This could be an idea that you have. So you do have this idea that you're trying to birth, but right now you're trying to play with it, and your mind is coming through, well, here's the answer here. Let's look at it in a different way. And she even has 2 spirit guides or animal guides that are coming through. So we have Tiger, Fire. Choose to be unstoppable, where your passion is your power. Be bold and be brave, because there are strong forces that are coming to your aid currently. And then Dragonfly wants you to see that you have this magic within you, and they want you to embrace this transformation that you may be going through. Be courageous and let go of the past. And the magic of nature is within you. So anything you are trying to create, grow, or discover is all within you. And you are brilliant and very blessed in this moment. And then, so there are 2 things that the moon energy wants to say with the Empress. Nothing will come of this situation if you don't believe in the impossible. If you don't have hope, if you don't have structure, and it's just kind of like your walls are bare, believe that there are things that can be possible with your own fire and your own energy. But my dears, before I forget, remember that you are valuable, and your guides want you to see that you are very valuable. You deserve to feel the value and the worth that you have. And your self-love oracle, self-care oracle today is you are overthinking. Ground yourself with a yoga tree pose. Spend some time in nature, maybe outside, or just find an area of your house to ground down and be a tree, whether that be in sunlight. But I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I hope you're able to connect with your inner child. And I'm trying to think of a topic that I would kind of like to see my comment section to be talking about. What's a tradition that you've had? What's a tradition you have currently, or even a spiritual tradition or a ritual that you have? There are many different faiths and religions out there. I love exploring all of them. So let me know if you have a tradition. But I'm ending it here, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Always give a like if you support this, and comment and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye, guys.